And welcome back to Maverick Hunter X. We're gonna get started with Flame Mammoth, and hopefully I don't die.
Flame Mammoth.
Beginning mission.
As I was saying before, usually I start with Chill Penguin, but this remake changes a few things, and I'll show off shortly. So, Flame Mammoth stage, obviously there's fire here, but it's also a bit of machinery, almost like a assembly line, except for junk. I guess more like a scrapyard really than a junkyard. But one of the big changes that Maverick Hunter X does is actually switches up where items are found. For those that play the original, there would usually be blocks right here on this ledge, or excuse me, corner. It was also a bit higher, but because the blocks are gone, you can just simply wall jump and find the site's castle first.
My name is Thomas Light. This is a message for X. I entrust the future to you.
Light? I think I know this guy.
If you've come across this capsule, I fear you must be in the midst of a difficult battle. I have left 4 powers for you to inherit. I believe that you will use them in the cause of justice. Here you will find the foot parts. Equip the parts you find in this capsule and you will gain the ability to dash. Use this power to steer the future in the right direction. I trust in you, my dear X.
Alright, originally found in Chill Penguin stage, the leg parts were actually moved here to Flame Mammoth stage, which is a good reason why a lot of people will go for this stage first in this version of the game. A reason not to go here is because everything hits so incredibly hard, so you have to play it extra careful, especially when you come across the boss, because I'm surprised I didn't get hit. He just hits hard as well. Hopefully I won't come across any issues, but yeah, we have to dash. You can dash by pressing the button. I have it mapped to R1 on my controller, and you can also dash by double tapping the direction you're facing, and I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but you know, things do happen. Alright, so here's the final part of the stage. Right here we have these machines that rotate around the pipes, and then we have these guys. Gotta be careful. Alright, let's go. Go. I'm trying to be extremely careful. I can just jump over you. Alright, good. I'm not trying to take too much damage because X is pretty weak, his defenses are low, and Flame Mammoth just hits so hard, so I want as much help as possible. I mean, if I die, then it's no big deal.
Why does Sigma think that a weak little B-class hunter like you is even worth my time?
Sigma's a maverick, just like you.
Sigma must be as crazy as you say. He keeps talking about how you are the future of Reploids. Can you believe that, X? Now it's time for me to stomp the future into dust.
Alright, so Flame Mammoth. I actually do enjoy the dialogue that these characters have, as well as voices. It just gives them more personality than they had in the original. So Flame Mammoth, probably the biggest of the Maverick bosses you're going to fight. You have to fight him on this conveyor belt. He'll shoot out this, I want to say it's tar, and it'll keep you in place. When he does jump like that, you'll want to get on the ledge, because if you're anywhere on the conveyor, your movement will actually be hindered like that. So it doesn't matter if you time it. Let's see, he's changed the direction of the conveyor quite a bit. There's one move he hasn't done yet, but I'm not complaining, because this goes into an issue I have with this version of the game. Doing the dash up off the wall is extremely finicky. In the original, all you had to do was hold the button and you would automatically do it. But in this version, you have to actually time it. It's like you have to press the dash along with X, the jump button, excuse me, in order to actually get the dash jump off the wall to work. And sometimes it just does not read the input. It's extremely finicky, so I'll just take unnecessary damage. But he actually didn't even do the attack I was worried about, in which you had to use the dash jump in order to avoid it entirely. So that's good. We might see that. No, we're probably not going to see that later. I just thought about that. But yeah, that's Flame Mammoth. So now let's go to Chill Penguin.
Chill Penguin.
Alright, Chill Penguin. Although the leg parts aren't in this stage, there is a light capsule that we can still get. Excuse me. Try not to. Give me some health. No, you're not giving me health. So we have these bunny enemies. We have these enemies that drop, I guess, landmines into the snow. We fought in them in the intro stage, but they weren't that big of a threat. And I don't think we're going to see them for the rest of the stage. These bats are extremely annoying. They home in on your location so precisely. It's incredibly annoying, and it's hard to really shoot them because of that reason. Yeah, so like if they get too close, yeah, it's just like you kind of have to take that hit. Not really. I messed that up. Oh, I was just about to comment on how they're not really dropping that many health items, but they're like, we got you, homie. Alright, so with the leg parts, you can break blocks on the side like this. I was trying to break that other one, but whatever. Fine.
The head parts await you within this capsule. Equip the parts you find inside here, and you will gain the ability to smash blocks with your head. I'm counting on you, X. You are humanity's last hope.
Yes, and that's exactly what it does. Smash blocks with your head, and this will let you get other parts, really. The cool thing about this part is that certain objects that fall on your head can also be destroyed that way without you taking any damage. I don't remember if that was in the original, to be honest, but it's a neat little addition, if it is new. So now that we got the leg parts, let's just make our way through the rest of the stage. The stage is pretty easy. We got a few bottomless pits over here, but there's nothing that can really catch you off guard to make you fall in. Okay, maybe these guys. They're kind of assholes. Got these flamingo-looking enemies. They will throw a buzzsaw at you from their head, and the buzzsaw itself is actually indestructible. So just keep that in mind. Well, you might be able to destroy it with a couple of special weapons, but that's something I don't particularly go for. What I mean by that is I don't really use special weapons unless it's absolutely necessary, or in order to make a something. Well, when I say necessary, stop. I mean, like, in order to get a power. So this is Flame Mammoth's power. I think it's called Fire Wave. Excuse me. Thank you, X, for actually saying this stuff out loud, because I don't remember this stuff. But you can use it to destroy these robotic igloos. That's such a weird thing. Or you can use the right armor. But because we can't get the right armor up here, you need the Fire Wave in order to actually break the igloos, which is why I did Flame Mammoth first, aside from the leg parts. Ugh. What I was getting to, I don't really use the abilities I get from defeating bosses on other bosses until I get to the final part of the game where, spoiler warning, you fight him again. But even then, I don't really do that unless I'm actually recording a game. So you'll see it here.
Chill, Penguin. Why? Why?
I wouldn't expect you to understand. Just look at you, X. You act so high and mighty, I can't stand it. Ah! You're finished.
Okay, so Chill Penguin. Pretty easy. He's still a good candidate to be your first Maverick to go after because he can easily be stunned with your X Buster, which is something that a lot of Mavericks aren't susceptible to. His weakness is Flame Mammoth's weapon, but this is what I was going into earlier. I don't really care to use the boss's weaknesses, only because I just find X Buster a lot more fun to use. It's completely it's just a preference of mine. You don't have to do it this way. You can play however you want, which is a good characteristic of Mega Man in general. You have so many options in order to play the game you want. I saw him going for that, and I just kind of stood there and took it like a champ. Yeah, he has a slight invulnerability. Excuse me, invincibility. After he finishes dashing, so you might want to wait just a second or two. But like I said, Chill Penguin was pretty easy. Another good candidate for your first Maverick, even in a remake. But just go for Flame Mammoth because the dash is just too damn nice. Shotgun Ice. When it hits an enemy or a wall, it actually ricochets in the direction that it was originally shot from. So you can, shoot enemies that you're not even facing just for swag points, but it's actually useful if enemies are actually approaching you from behind. So let's go to... Yeah, at this point, it's more of a do whatever I want type of deal. Let's go to Storm Eagle.
Storm Eagle.
Beginning mission.
Alright, so this stage will require us to do a bit of climbing the first part. There's special, blocks you can destroy with Flame in this weapon. It's not really necessary though in order to destroy them. Oh, you know what? I'll show it off. Oh, you jerk. Yeah, these blocks right here. Just use the fire wave and destroy. You get health, which I guess could be good for refilling your tanks, but I don't have any, so don't worry about it. So what we're gonna do is make our way up here and dash right here. I think there we go. There we go. You need the leg parts in order to make that jump, because you have to do a dash jump in order to get more distance with the jump itself. So let's make our way back up. Exciting. I kind of never talked about it, but this is on the PSP. I just thought about that. I never actually talked about this game's history. So it is a remake of Mega Man X. It is not the first Mega Man game to get a remake. Mega Man Powered Up is a remake of the original Mega Man 1. That game added... what did it add? It added 2 new bosses actually, because the original Mega Man only had 6. Tweaked some level design. It had a lot of content to it. It had a type of level builder. You can upload your levels online and play other players' creations. Over here we have the tank, which we can be used to store excess health and so forth. But yes, Power Up was the first remake. While Maverick Hunter X came, I want to say a year later. You can actually play a demo of Powered Up on this game. I don't think I've ever tried it now that I think about it. I've owned this game for quite some time, but I've never actually tried a demo of Powered Up before. nor have I ever played it. I've seen like a walkthrough of it before. It looks pretty interesting. I don't know if I can actually get it now. It's pretty expensive. Plus, this is actually on the PlayStation TV. My PSP just died flat out. It will not charge for whatever reason. Maybe it's the battery. Who knows? All I know is it just doesn't work. It makes me sad because well, it's not really sad. I didn't care too much with the PSP, if I'm being honest. It has some fun games, don't get me wrong. It's just went too much on it for me to go back to. Maverick Hunter X is one of them that I really enjoy, so I was happy that I was able to get it digitally. I want to say the original intention for this was to remake all of them, which I think would have been good for the series. Granted, we got the X collection years later on like modern consoles like Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Steam as well. Ooh, shoot, that sometimes happens. Like, wow, I'm starting way far back. You know, I'm just gonna cut to where I get to where I die. So I'll see you then. All right, we're back. So this goes into the problem I have with the game that I kind of mentioned earlier, is that the dash jump is sometimes finicky. Well, dashing in general, it's most problematic when trying to dash up off a wall, but occasionally it just won't read my dash input, and I just die like that. So it's one issue I have with the game. I wouldn't say it makes the game terrible, but it's one of those things where I was like, yeah, I kind of prefer the original because I didn't have this kind of problems with it. It was a lot simpler to pull off dashes as well, I felt. Okay, actually this is where I died. There we go, see? We did it. So let's jump up here, fall down here. And with the head parts, you can break those blocks in order to get another light capsule.
Inside this capsule are the body parts. Enter the capsule and equip them, and any damage you incur will be halved. It saddens me to think that the war has begun, but I know that you can bring it to a peaceful conclusion, X.
Sure, whatever you say. Yes, thanks for the body armor. We will be taking less damage, and I guess you could say this is another good starting stage for your first Maverick. But the problem is the lack of dash jump does make it a bit difficult to traverse the platforming areas. Granted, it's not impossible, which is I think a good strength of Mega Man, the X series in general. You can play any stage you want in any order, and you can get from start to finish with just bare X. Most X games are like that. I feel X6 kind of struggles with that just because of the haphazard design choices they made, but that's for another time. Or you can just watch the stream I did a couple years back. Good times. I actually like that game, or have fun with it. Is it a bad game? You bet your ass it is. But boss time.
So it begins.
Storm Eagle, have you gone Maverick too?
I won't deny that.
If that's the case, I have no choice but to destroy you. It's my duty as a Maverick Hunter.
Then the least I can do is fight with all my strength. Let's go, Maverick Hunter X!
You said it! I would say out of all the Mavericks, I think Storm Eagle has the most respect for X. It's interesting to see these characters express their personal feelings about the matter, as well as how they feel towards X. Some of them do respect them, while others are just like, eh, he's just a B-class hunter. Hunters have different classes just depending on... Oh, I didn't even see him move. But yeah, hunters have different classes just depending on how well they perform in duty. Zero, he is S-class for just basically because he doesn't hesitate like X. X is a B-class because of his hesitation, but he'd probably be B-class if he didn't hesitate. So Storm Eagle, one of the easier bosses. When he tries to dive at you, all you have to do is run back and forth and you'll dodge his attacks easily. He can also come in from the side. to the side, just like that. I don't know why he did that so suddenly, but I guess he heard me. He's like, oh, Duke's talking about that one attack, I better do it so it doesn't look like a fool. I guess, I don't know. But all the Maverick bosses, he probably got the most updates because he was definitely the weakest of them. I would still say he's the weakest of the bunch here because he has 2 attacks that don't even damage you. But one of the attacks he does add on to after a certain point. He's just not doing it yet. So he's using Storm Tornado, and he can also create gales of wind with his wings. When he does that, he can fire talons that can actually attack you from above, or like here. He did it as I was killing him. But yeah, he definitely got an upgrade because his dive attacks, I want to say attacking from side to side is new. But yeah, it's still pretty easy.
Mission accomplished.
If you don't have the dash, it can be a little tricky to avoid Storm Tornado, but all you have to do is jump out of the current. Alright, so Storm Eagle is down. Now let's go, actually with Storm Tornado, this makes certain parts of this easier. So let's go to Launch Octopus.
Launch Octopus!
Should be a squid since he only has 6 arms, but whatever. So the majority of this stage does play underwater, and you have aquatic themed enemies as well. You got those sea turtles, like those water skiers. I don't remember what they're called exactly. Actually, I think they're just water skaters. But yeah, they'll just skim the surface of the water. I don't think they attack, but if they do, you really see it. Okay, I'm trying to be careful because I think there's the seahorse enemies. Yep. So what they'll do is they will deploy and then retract into the hole that they come across first. So not easy to execute, they're pretty easy to defeat. So yeah, this enemy right here, with Storm Tornado you can get rid of his antler and you can just chip away at his health pretty fast. Like that. Actually, Storm Tornado in general is pretty good for this stage because it has certain enemies, these guys right here, they will, I guess, vacuum X into their bodies and just swim around. It's pretty annoying to deal with, so just use this to get rid of them. Enemies respawn pretty quickly in this game as well, so if you defeat one, just go off screen, another one will take its place more likely. You can just run in order to avoid the vacuum. I want to say in this version of the game, it's a lot easier to do so. Okay, so I think I'm good with this for now. So we have these machines that create currents of water. You want to stand on this one right here. I think there's another one to the side that you might be able to go. But yeah, we're gonna destroy this sub. Actually, I could probably just use Storm Tornado. Stop that. Yeah, the sub will cause this to fall through. We come to a mini boss. Again, just use Storm Tornado. Probably my favorite of the abilities X can use, just because it has so many hits. But yeah, you can hit this enemy in both the head as well as the tail. And if you line it up right, you can get a ton of hits by hitting both the tail and the head at the same time. But you have to do, after you defeat him, the door opens up and you can get this heart container. And that's all the items we can get in this stage, so it's just a matter of getting to the end. I'm gonna stick with Storm Tornado a little more because we're going to have to fight that mini boss again, and here it is. Okay, this one will actually bury underground, and it'll try to do a quote-unquote attack from underneath, but it doesn't really attack, it just kind of emerges. It's like, hey, what's up? I exist. But yeah, defeat him and now you can move on. I'm gonna keep Storm Tornado on just a little longer because these guys are in the way. Okay, and now we reach the boss.
Launch Octopus! How could you do something like this?
I am an artist, UCX, an artist of underwater combat. But no one has recognized that fact. Not until now.
But Sigma recognizes that?
That's right. And now I'm fighting to create an entire world that does too. This is a very important battle for me.
Here we go.
Okay, Launch Octopus, very unique personality change, I guess. But yeah, Launch Octopus, if you get caught by that attack in particular, that he will actually drain your health while recovering health. It happened to me by accident while I was playing the other mode, and that was the first time I actually witnessed that. I don't even know if that happens in the original, but it was the first time I saw it by playing this version of the game. So Launch Octopus, if you're doing an X-Buster only run, my best advice is to actually only use the charge shot after he does this attack that tries to suck you in, because if you try to use charge shots while he's firing attacks at you, you'll more than likely get clipped by the many projectiles he can fire. With that said, he is what is going on with the bosses today? They're either barely doing attacks that I talk about or just don't do them at all. Like, that was probably the easiest run I've had of Launch Octopus. Whatever, I'm not complaining. Maybe we'll get to see his other... No, we're not going to see it because I'm going to... Oh my gosh. That bike outside scared me. But yeah, we're unfortunately not going to see everything he has to offer, even when we get the rematch. But get homing torpedo.
Homing torpedo!
And with that, we are halfway done, but we're going to end things here for today. Next part, we're going to go start with... we're going to start with... Sting Chameleon, and then take on the other three in whatever order I feel like at the time. I'm actually just play... I don't know. Or it doesn't matter. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you then. Take care, y'all.